That's what it is. And then I gave the example, actually, that Swami who had given that example of the dream, he gave for this verse, but I already mentioned it. That how when you wake up from a dream, whole dream gets dissolved. And you have no trace of anything. Okay? So ज्ञान अग्नि में सब कुछ खत्म हो जाता है. So this is not like an ordinary knowledge, but this is a knowledge that is revealed in the scriptures, you know. And he also mentioned that this is not a knowledge which is like a information or some theoretical knowledge. He's talking about this is a wisdom that comes from experience. So the people who have gotten self-realized, they experience it, you know, that this whole phenomena of nothing touching them. And then, as we said, this knowledge comes from the three things, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasan. So
I think that's what I was trying to say, that it's saying that it reduces all actions to ashes, good and bad, all of those. Because if there's no ego, there's no good, bad actions left. So not to worry about your Prarabdha also in this case is saying, at that stage is gone. But that is for only self-realized people, not for us who are in between somewhere lower. So.
But this is what it is. Now that we study this, and if we have Shraddha in it, then we should stop worrying about it. It doesn't say that means, you know, start doing something bad, because some people can take it totally wrong and kuch farak nahi padta, main kuch bhi karu. That doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
Because that person will not do anything wrong. He will do and everything jo shreyas hoga, which will be, why would I harm myself? In other words, I'm not going to take some talwar and start cutting myself. I'm not going to do that. So that's why he's not going to harm anyone. He will do only good stuff. So there are a lot of things packed in this verse and a lot of different aspects of it. But this is how we have to see. Okay. So shall we?
I was just going to say one thing, that person doesn't identify himself with the body. And therefore, he's identifying with the higher self. He's not. And therefore, whatever happens to the body, he's an observer to the body. Whatever's happening is happening to the body, not to him.
Yes.
And therefore, that's the difference. That's why he does not accumulate. The body's doing the actions. He's not doing the action. He or she is not doing the actions. They're just being performed. That's it.
Right.
To me, that's what it is. And therefore, he's not accumulating. There is no results of his. Whatever is happening to it. That's how I looked at it, basically.
See, all of you are correct. All of you are correct.
I was going to say, she explains much better than I can.
No, you explain good also. No problem. Because, each person has their own angle, but all of you are right. And, I want to tell about good and bad also. Good and bad is some kind of a label we have put on our karmas. And if you analyze each one, उसके दोनों aspect होते हैं. Because एक के लिए जो अच्छा होता है ना, दूसरे के लिए बुरा भी होता है. किसी को समझो पैसे की बात है, किसी ने बहुत सारे पैसे कमा लिए, ओ मेरे को मिल गया $1 million, और जहां से कमाया उनको पूछो, वो लोग रो रहे होंगे, मेरा पैसा ले लिया यार, कोई कंपनी किसी ने बनाई है तो मजदूर रो रहा है, देखो मेहनत तो मैंने की है और पैसा वो बना रहा है. See what I'm saying? Good and bad is, and then when it comes to good and bad, one of the saints, I remember, there was a self-realized soul in Houston, and we used to sometimes go and listen to him. He was one of the scientists, and he had turned into sadhu. And he said, somebody was talking about karma and all that, and he was trying to explain this, there's some state which is beyond this. And some people were not getting it. And he said, good, bad, mein pade hue the. So he said, okay, here is an apple. So if I give you the apple and you eat it, is that good thing? So she said, yeah, it is good. It gave me nourishment. He's saying, but from the apple's perspective, you killed the apple. Apple is crying that I got annihilated. So he said, don't label anything good and bad. And I said, wow, never thought about it this way. Good and bad is something labeled that we put on this earth. So in that absolute, there is no such thing.
Yeah.
I think also he said 2 words, self in us and self of all. when you go to self of all, then you don't worry about, because you can never do anything, because your intention is not to do good or bad. You're just doing it for all.
Yes, there you go. You're absolutely right. It's like what Swamiji used to give example is that suppose I'm sitting and I'm kind of मेरी उंगली मेरी आंख में चली गई, ऐसा हो जाता है ना कभी कभी, हाँ. So it's saying, do you take this finger and chop it off and say, oh, you hurt me? The same hand will massage the eye. We never think about that because there's oneness in our body and nobody's saying thank you to each other. It just spontaneously happens because there is oneness. And he said that's what the person who is self-realized behaves like that in the world. Or like I'm watching Sai Baba right now, and it is so amazing that that how his personality was. The person has come to kill him, and he's talking the sweetest words to him. I said, "Mujhe marne aaye ho," like like his tone of voice doesn't change, and the guy who's acted it has done such a great job. And because we are studying this, it just, my God, these people are like that. They have no fear. And Jakora ke saiya maar sake na koi, वैसे भी. But it's like basically it's like he doesn't get fazed by anything. कोई डाकू आ जाए चाहे कोई आ जाए, उसके लिए सब समान है. वो डाकू को भी वो उतना ही प्रेम दे रहा था, उसको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा था उसको. और उसके ऑरा में everybody changes for better. Whether you're a good person becomes even better, and or maybe he goes further in that way. A bad person becomes good, and there is only a win-win situation with those people. It was just amazing to see that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we will read it next time, but if we have if somebody has another comment or question, we can still do it, because these are very important and powerful verses. A lot to learn from it. Geeta ji, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so your questions, did you want to bring any one of them right now? Because we have 5 minutes, we can take up one. All of them have a similar tone, actually. That's how I felt. I don't know how, does this 2 verses explanation kind of helped in those questions? We can hear you. You have to unmute, sorry.
Actually, my first question is the same as the comment which Kamlaji made just now. And you said, well, you always like to think of it as, the cosmic knowledge or something like that. Okay, if you want to use that term, you can. But in our class, now that we know that Krishna is only an expression of the supreme consciousness, cosmic consciousness. And that's what we are aiming towards.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't get the whole sentence. What?
Okay. Krishna, is an avatar. Krishna, Ram, and all these, they are avatars. And we, instead of praying to Krishna or Ram or something, shouldn't we be just reminding ourselves that our goal is actually the cosmic consciousness?
Yeah, you can do that, and that's going to be addressed in Kathoupanishad when we go now. Exactly same thing is going to be addressed. It gives you both the choices. You want to do saguna, upasana, or nirguna. If you want to go directly in cosmic consciousness, you definitely can, and you can say, okay, Krishna Bhagwan is an avatar, he came. And if you want to worship Krishna Bhagwan, you can do that as a sakar also. So that you will get the result accordingly. So both paths are open. And if you want to connect to the super consciousness, that's totally fine. And in Bhagavad Gita, there's a reflection of both. And when we go to the higher chapters, it talks about, there is a state, kya na bola unko, param atma, which is beyond even this, what you call, there is a manifest and unmanifest. It's beyond both of them. So it is going to explain in a slightly different language, and then even in Kathoupanishad is going to come, and they call it in the Vedantic language, they call it Parabrahma and Apara. So Apara is Prakriti, and in that Om sadhana, either you can do a Sakar sadhana with deities and things like that, and then you will gain the Sakar Loka, or if you want Nirakar, you can do that Upasana and you will get that. So it's a choice given to us, and you can pick whichever. That's how the Vedanta explains it.
Right. Okay. And so my third, remember the question was, whatever is happening, because whatever is happening to us, our circumstances in this life have been determined by our past karma. So if it is obviously, some of it is something that, could be causing us a lot of unhappiness, sorrow, whatever. So we should not be praying to God to please save me from this, because I have to bhukto it because of my past karma. We should be praying to God, please give me the strength, the forbearance, the wisdom to deal with it. Every time we should always just pray for these things and not please save me.
True. That is a higher level of thinking. And in Shastras, they have both. And when you know that there is that verse where it says there are 4 types of devotee, right?
No, I'm talking about specifically us in this class.
Yeah, us in this class also, like, true.
To that level, should we stop praying to God to save me, to help me, except in the way help me to increase, become more courageous, non-attached, etc.
I think that's a great prayer in my opinion, but everybody is free to choose how they want to pray. But I would say that's better, because like we studied just now, that the prarabdha karma, even the realized soul have to deal with it. So what are we asking for? We are like showing our ignorance if we are asking, mera ye theek kar de, wo theek kar de, because hey, if it's coming, it's coming. Nobody can stop it. And even in this COVID right now, so many unexpected people suddenly died in India. Like one of the teacher's 32-year-old nephew passed away. And he was like, his family was with him, he was in the ambulance and all that. Means everybody was there. It was not a situation where he couldn't find, some treatment, or he couldn't find oxygen. Sab kuch hote hue wo chala gaya. So it's like, the only answer is spiritual answer. Hey, जिसको जाना होता है उसको कोई नहीं रोक सकता. तुम कितना भी पूजा कर लो, कुछ भी कर लो. So you have to just say, what you said, Geeta ji. I think that's a great prayer. Whatever comes in my plate, please give me strength that I don't forget you and I keep continue on this path, because आना जाना ये सब चलता रहता है. Don't try to fix it. In other words, true, very true.
Geeta ji.
Anji Kamla ji.
Do we need to pray for even that? When we are talking about merging our individual consciousness with cosmic consciousness, then we don't even pray for anything.
Look, Kamla ji, hold on.
No,
There is something called Vyahavar also. We cannot forget about Vyahavar. We cannot say, I'm self-realized, patthar ban gaye kisi. No. We have to have compassion for people who are not at that stage, and because we ourselves was at that stage, so we have to have a lot of compassion.
It's not like I'm just asking her opinion on that. I know different people are at different level and they treat situations differently, but I'm just trying to understand what Geeta ji thinks about it.
Well, I already told you that I would pray now. Now I'm changing my prayers from, please help me and please save me, to just give me the strength to bear this and the wisdom to know how to do it. So as that lovely prayer is, that has always been my motto throughout life. Please, give me the patience to bear what cannot be changed, the courage to change what can be changed, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's going to give us peace. That's To me, that's, kind of non-attachment. Okay, so what would you do if you had some terrible sorrow upon you? What kind of prayer would you do, or not at all?
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop this over here because this can go on too much, and we gotta go. We have a very heavy duty one coming. I'm not discounting anybody's
Okay.
question.
That's okay.
Yeah, we can definitely bring it up.
To answer, but then we can do it in our.
Yeah, let's do in that half an hour.
Yes,
Definitely,
yes.
we'll bring it up in half
We'll
an hour.
continue that.
Yes. Because आप देखोगे Kamla ji and Geeta ji and all the others also, if we study these verses, lot of our questions get answered while we study them also. So suppose if something is not getting answered and we are kind of, I don't know, just have patience. We are only at chapter 4 right now.
No, the only thing is the churning of brain doesn't happen with all the verses. It happens once in a while.
No, you can always ask, but I'm giving an overall view
No,
because
I understand. Yeah.
it will everything will start getting cleared.
Yeah,
Okay.
I understand.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, so let me just come to my. Let's do the closing prayer of this. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyah moksha ishyami ma shuchah. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. We are on verse 16. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Okay, so we are at verse 16. 15 में Yamraj ji had already started telling about Brahma Vidya, and he said that the goal which all the Vedas declare, and जिसकी वजह से लोग ब्रह्मचर्य व्रत लेते हैं, सब कुछ करते हैं, वो गोल मैं तुम्हें बताता हूँ. And he's saying that is Om. Now, when somebody says that, since we did Mandukya, lot of us will understand what he's saying. Otherwise, what are they saying? But Swamiji explained so well, it's like Tejo Menon ji. He said कि जब हम लोग कोई प्रश्न पूछते हैं ना, तो शुरू में हम लोग नाम ही बताते हैं. And he gave the most beautiful example. He's saying कि suppose if somebody asks, which is the holiest river in India? कोई पूछेगा हमको, तो हम लोग क्या बोलेंगे? गंगा. लेकिन गंगा क्या है वो बाद में उनको समझ में आएगा ना, जब वो उसका स्टडी करेंगे वगैरह. वैसे ही इसने बोला कि दैट्स कॉल्ड ओम. इट डजंट मीन दैट ओम खाली बोल दिया दैट्स व्हाट इट इज. नो, ओम इज टोटली पावर पैक्ड स्टफ. एंड एज he said, the Om will completely get revealed only after we finish the whole Upanishad. Then we will know that exactly where it stands. But as we were discussing last time, it's a symbol of that Brahman. Okay, and so what basically it is that but here in Brahman, they have the two aspects of Brahman. One is the one aspect which is like free from all names and forms, free from all qualities, attribute, properties, everything. It's a nirguna, nirakar Brahma. That's one aspect of Brahman. And so it's nameless, formless, attributeless. Same Brahman appears as a Sakuna Sakar. Here you can say Krishna Bhagwan, okay? Or all the deities and all. So it's not like there are two Brahmans. No? Don't get confused here. You cannot say Krishna Bhagwan is separate from that. No, it's the same Brahman, but it has appeared as Sagun, so which is the name, and it is manifesting by itself only. It's like, it is hard to get this concept, but he gave the concept gold and ornament, and that will make it completely clear. So you have a block of gold. What is it? Pure gold. एक block पड़ा हुआ है तो होता है कि this is gold. उसमें से तुमने ornaments बना लिए. But gold वहाँ से चला नहीं गया. Gold is very much there, Now you, because of certain shape of it, you have given it a name. So आकार के साथ नाम जाता है. So that's why they say नाम और आकार is रूप and आकार. नाम. Naam Roop, right? That's what they say. So that's why they call it Naam and Roop. It's still gold. You've just given it a name. And that's exactly what Sagun, Sakar and Nirgun is. The Nirgun is there, and then Sagun, Sakar is manifesting from it. Both are Brahman only. And in the technical term, it's called Parabrahma. हम लोग ने सुना है ना ये word, Parabrahma, right? Parabrahma is that Nirgun, Nirakar, और उसका opposite है Apara. Apara Prakriti भी बोलते हैं. Para Prakriti, Apara. So whenever you hear these two words, Para is that ultimate without any attributes, and Apara is with attributes. So here what Tejomayananji said in this for this verse is, you know about both, now the choice is given to you which one you want to pursue. So you can take, and Om is a symbol that can give you either one. Okay, it is a very powerful thing. It can get you what you desire. So if you want to do the Saguna Sakara thing, then you do Upasana. And what happens in that? You gain what you want. For example, here Joe was saying, अच्छे कर्म करो, ये वो स्वर्ग में को मिलेगा, फिर स्वर्ग से ऊपर भी जा सकते हैं. There are other lokas. I think in this is some 7 lokas are there, and the highest is Brahma Loka. You can go up to Brahma Loka and Saguna Sakar, And then what is in the Nirgun? Nirgun you don't gain, you realize it. That's how they use the English language, because sometimes it's hard to express, So Sagun is gained, but Nirgun is realized it. Okay, so these are the two aspects he's talking about. So now let's analyze the Om. When we say Om, there are 3 letters in it: A, U, and Ma. So when we are chanting Om, how does it begin? We sit down, we close our eyes, and there is silence. And then you start saying Om. So you say these 3 letters, and then in Mandukya they explained that A is a waking world and the dream world, and then if you focus on you get this, and you focus, all that is there, the whole science is there. End में क्या होता है, वो करके silent हो जाता है. Then you start another Om. So there is a sound aspect and there is a silence. Everybody understands that, right? The sound aspect is the Saguna Brahma. Silence is the Nirguna Brahma. Because the Om has emerged from the silence, and then it is merging into the silence again. Same way, the Saguna Sakar emerges from that Brahman and dissolves in that Brahman. That's how you have to look at this Om Upasana. Okay? And then, remember I told you that this Om is called Pranav also, right? And then I said, Tejomayananji explained that Pranav is coming there, Pranava. So Pra is there, Na is there, and Va is there. Na is, Nu means to Aradhana karna, worship. It's a Sanskrit की धातु language, धातु बोलते हैं उसको, means basic, कहाँ से आया, root word is Nu, means to worship. Pra means very special, prakarshena, that's how they say it in Sanskrit. So it is a very special worship, and Va, he explained, it's something related to the 2 worships. I didn't 100% understand what he was saying with Va, but Pranav word has come from there. And this is like a very, Om is considered the best support for the worship. Both kind of worship. Meditation also, when you want to go Nirgun, and Sagun also, when you want to do Upasana, both make this very, very powerful. So this is just another glimpse of what Om is and then we can do this verse, we can read it. Anybody has any question, comment, or want to add anything? Okay, so who would like to read? I have to do the Sanskrit part, right? Yeah. Verse 16. Etad hi eva aksharam brahma, etad hi eva aksharam param, etad hi eva aksharam jnatva, yo yadicchati tasya tata. Etad means this, he is indeed, eva is alone, aksharam is immortal, brahma is Brahman. Etad is this. He is indeed eva verily, aksharam immortal, param the highest, etat this, he again also, eva is verily, aksharam again immortal, gnatva having known, yah is who, yat is which, ichhati desires, tasya to him, tat that is achieved. So he's just saying that it is capable of giving you either one, whatever you desire. And that's why when we are talking about this thing, that hey, what we should do and what we should not do, or how we should pray or not pray, it's very individual. Because suppose if you are at a level that something is bothering you very much, okay, and some circumstances is bothering you very much, and you cannot bring yourself to that higher state that I ask for strength, it's okay to go and ask. Because somebody was saying, अपने पिता से नहीं मांगोगे तो किससे मांगोगे? अगर तुमको चाहिए तो मांग लो. हो सकता है कि वो बहुत अच्छी चीज नहीं हो, but right now you want so desperately, तुम्हारा माइंड तभी शांत होएगा, तुमको मिलेगा तो मांग लो. बाद में तुमको पता चलेगा कि जो मैं मांग रहा था, maybe it was not the right thing. See what I'm trying to say? So even
मिलेगा क्या?
I'm sorry?
If we are suffering something and we say, please give me this, if I have a real desire for something, or please take this away, is God going to do that?
He may. We don't know. He will do what is ultimately right. It is something like this. I'll give you an example. That it is a small 2-year-old and he doesn't know what is good, what is bad, and he goes under the sink and he says, I want to drink that blue-looking liquid. Mother or father will give a tight slap and say, shut up and you're not going to drink that. So when we are asking something totally horrible, he won't give it to us. We may be thinking this is what we want. He won't give it to us. But अगर हमने कोई दूसरी चीज़ है, कोई और chocolate है समझो, it's not going to kill him, but it might be hurtful little bit, if he might get a cavity. So नहीं, अच्छा बाबा ले ले. See the difference? So what he's going to give you, you don't know. But ultimately, if you have the faith that he's going to give you what it's good for you, that is the most important thing. So not necessarily, Geeta ji, it's in my opinion, okay? Whatever you ask, he may not, but बहुत ज़्यादा जिद करोगे तो something that may be okay thing, which may not be so great for you, he might give you.
So every time when we say that we're asking God for something, we're asking the universe, actually. So
universe has a capability of giving you what, and that is going to come in this verse only. Swamiji is going to say that universe is capable of giving you your your thoughts are so powerful. If you have a concentrated thought, you can achieve anything. The only reason we don't is get dissipated. The universe has all the ingredients to manifest anything you want, but we don't have a concentrated thought. That's what he'll say. And there is a documentary, a movie. Anybody heard of it? A movie called Secret? There's a book also called Secret. आपने सुना है अनिल जी? उसमें उन्होंने ये बताया है कि अगर तुमको तुमको $1 million चाहिए और तुम एक concentrated करो, मिल जाएगा तुमको. It may not be good for you, okay? That's a separate story.
Yeah.
But
actually, we both have read the book and seen the CD also.
CD also, yes.
Anil and me, both of us. The Secret.
Yes. Yeah. So all these things are available to you. But, like in Bhagavad Gita, twice Arjun says, Krishna Bhagwan, please tell me what is Shreyas for me. And that Shreyas means it is not spiritually good for me. Worldly ढंग से तो material things look fantastic and all, but लोगों को पूछो जिनको लॉटरी मिली है $20-30 million की, half of them will say कि हे भगवान मेरे को मेरी लाइफ पहले वाली चाहिए. I don't want this 20 million. It has created only havoc in my life, So material things, we think that it's a great achievement and all. Actually, it's not. It may not be, So who wants to read now? Shireen, you have the book? You want to read? Yeah.
This word is verily Brahman alone. This word is verily the highest. He who knows this word obtains verily whatever of the two he desires.
It sounds confusing, but he's saying this is Brahman alone. And as I explained to you, that Om has both aspects, and the word is also the highest. He who knows this word means if who understands this, and basically it's a symbol. And एक बार एक symbol समझ में आ जाए ना, तो वो पूरा उसकी दुनिया उसके पीछे खुल जाती है. That's what it is. And I told you about the flag. If I live in America, no matter where I go, if somebody puts an American flag, I know what they're talking about. I'm talking about America, or Indian flag or something like that, That's how you have to look at it.
Just as we found in the previous stanza that the word Padam has 22 meanings, here is yet another word, Aksara, which has something like 14 different meanings. Hence, the very language is called, in its pregnancy of suggestion and free scope of import in each word, as the cultured, the Sanskrit or the Samskarita. This is a language with the Aryans, probably by generations of effort and experimentation, evolved for the purpose of explaining to us through its greater wealth of suggestions and suggestiveness the inexplicable absolute reality. To serve the purposes of the spirit of the age, everywhere we find new words coined by each generation. Similarly, in the era of deep meditation and seeking of the self, they too had to evolve a new vocabulary and a language fit to serve their purposes. In fact, through no other language can we so effectively convey the science of the self and the nature of the reality as through Sanskrit.
Yeah. So, this word Akshara he's talking about, and Akshara means jo shay nahi hota. Shay means the one that doesn't decay. So it is used for like Brahman. And then also Akshar is like letters, because the sound never decays, it's always there. So there is some meaning like that, So we say, then there is one Akshara Brahma also in Bhagavad Gita. It's going to come later. They call it Akshara Brahma. Go ahead.
In this stanza under discussion, Lord Death is explaining the worship of the very symbol Om. We have already stated that Om, besides indicating the supreme goal to its significance, also provides the meditator with a symbol or form of the supreme reality. Om is used in the earliest time in Veda as a Zam. Yes, so be it, meaning just as the Amen of the Hebrews. Later, this Amen was converted by St. John as the name of the Lord, the Amen, the faithful and true witness. Similarly, did Om slowly grow in its prominence is a European theory not acceptable to those who have tasted its vibrational effects and divine nature.
So what here Swamiji is trying to, one second. Swamiji is trying to say over here that wo jo Hebrew mein word Amen karke hai na, a lot of people know that he's saying that they converted into Lord's name later on. So they started putting the same theory to Om, but that's not true, because it's not like later on it got some prominence. No, shuru se hi wo वैसे ही coin किया गया है, So that's all, because it's a lot of science behind it, just not the word.
We have also seen earlier how in the technique of the Upanishads, selfless worships and sacrifices in themselves constitute the most effective way of raising the inner purity and consequently the intellectual potency of an aspirant. Here in this mantra, we have an unequivocal declaration that the very formula Om is reality. Just as the very Shivalinga is to a devotee, the very
Shiv Tattva
tattva, or as we have in our world, the very crown, even when it is without the bald head of any king, is a symbol of might and royalty. Those who doubt this fact would do well to experiment upon a piece of the India's tricolor in the streets of any marketplace, cursing and stamping it under their feet. If they are not mobbed by a patriotic crowd, it would be because the insulting action was perhaps enacted too late in the night.
So he's just saying that how this Om is so potent, and it is like and then he gave other examples. Worldly realm में भी ये होता है, and he talked about the crown, and and there is another very famous story of Vivekanand that some king or something told him, oh, you guys do ideal worship and this and that, and he took out the picture of the king and threw it on the floor and just spit on it now. Oh my God, this is king. No, that's not king, that's a picture. So it's like, see what I'm saying? Once you associate something with it, and that's why we give so much importance, if you have a murti in the house, so Bhagwan hi baithe hain wahan pe just. And we create that atmosphere, we take our juta, we wash our hands and all that. So it just creates that atmosphere, that respect and all that. And that's what he's saying, that Om is, and the Shiva Linga is a perfect example. All the mandirs of the Shiva, thousands and thousands of mandir over there, they never have Shiva ka murti. They always have Shiva Lingam. And everybody says that this is Shiva. जो लोग शिव डिवोटी है उनके लिए कोई फर्क नहीं है शिवलिंगम में और शिवा में. So that's how this Om is. We have to look at it that way. Very sacred.
Vedantin is not, as is generally believed by the fashion crowd, a blasphemer of religion or a
iconoclast. Iconoclast is it's the person who attacks these some beliefs or something. Murti, जो बोलते हैं ना, मूर्ति पूजा नहीं कर, icon. That from that word it has come, icon to iconoclast.
That he is not an idol breaker is clear from the very fact that in his very Bible, the Upanishads, we are now reading the worship of a symbol advised and advocated by the all-knowing godly rishis themselves. If at all there is in India any sect that today dances to the mad tunes of some imaginary fanaticism and goes about condemning idol worship, they are doing a great injustice to themselves and to the very science of self-perfection. As individuals, the erring ones may be ignored in our understanding. They are victims of their own ignorance of our great Shrutis. But as regards the sect, it shall deserve among the intelligent and the educated as much respect as the social criminals deserve. Beware of them, shun them, avoid them.
He's just basically telling you that if people who, condemn this Murti Puja and all that, they are doing great injustice to themselves, because there both aspects are there of Brahman. And it's totally fine to worship. You can still reach that highest from that state also. But it is a little like we talked about it, that we are going on a trip. Either I want to go direct, I want to enjoy on the way and all that. That's fine. Now, who's telling you don't do that? So I think that one of the great things about Vedanta is it encompasses every kind of mind. It has something for everybody. It's not and it never insists that you must do this. As long as you are sincere and you want to reach that goal and you like this path, it's more conducive to you to do it this way, please do it. You will reach. Because slowly, what you need, you will get. And one of the stories, I don't know if you guys have heard of Mirabai, that she was very attached to the Krishna Bhagwan ki murti. Remember, she used to always hold it, and then she made all the songs and all that. And में उनके गुरु ने उनको वो निर्गुण निराकार का ज्ञान दिया. And then she got the self-realization when she understood that, hey, murti is not the only thing. It has another aspect to it also. So, and then in Bhagavad Gita, in many places, Krishna Bhagwan has said, the one who knows me from essence, जो मुझे तत्वतः जानता है. And तत्वतः is the same thing that no, there is only one Brahman. Either it can be this Nirgun Nirakar or it can appear as a Sagun Sakar also. And both are fine. So just keep that in mind that, we don't need to become fanatic about our way and this is the only way. We, at least in this class, we should not do that at all after Swamiji has blasted it so much.
But Umaji, eventually you have to go to Nirgun, isn't it?
You should know both. That's what he's talking about. The one who says, oh, khali nirguni hai aur kuch dusra hai hi nahi, then what am I experiencing? I'm experiencing Sagun Sakar.
लेकिन जैसे मीरा जी को भी उन्होंने बाद में निर्गुण दिखाया ना.
तो मैं ऐसा कहूंगी कि जो दोनों को समझना पड़ेगा आपको सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन के लिए. अगर आप एक में बैठे रहोगे तो नहीं होगा फिर.
But I thought if you are in Sagun, then automatically with knowledge you will transfer to Nirgun.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you have given up Sagun. You are
eventually when you see Nirgun,
फिर क्या होगा?
Sagun is gone.
Sagun is gone from, but it's a part of the thing. It's like, okay, this is what it is. Okay, that's a good question. When we say fire, what are the attributes of fire?
Heat and light.
Heat and light. Can we separate heat and light from fire? No. That's what Sagun and Nirgun are. So the potency is there and it can express because Agni to sab mein hai. अभी जब हम लाइट करेंगे तब निकलती है ना वो fire and all that. So that's how it is that or something like a dance and a dancer. Can I separate the dancer from the dance? No. Sometimes he sits quietly, sometimes he gets up and dances, but both are same person only. That understanding has to dawn upon us.
I had a question here on page 117, the previous page. In the footnote, it says here Brahman means lower or Sagun Brahman, and the higher means Nirgun Brahman. So they have said that one is lower and one is higher.
But wo bhi, when you say lower and higher, you say that even isme Bhagavad Gita mein aaya, my lower prakriti and my higher prakriti. Lower prakriti is this, 24 elements, all these mind, body, intellect, pranas, ye wo, all panch mahabhut and all that. And the higher is something that supports the lower. Without
but
that.
It doesn't necessarily mean that higher is better than lower.
No, that's what I'm trying to get at. That's why I gave the example of heat. If you separate heat and light from it, तो fire ही नहीं रह जाएगी वो.
I basically don't agree with that. The thing is that when Gita is written, it tried to encompass everybody. It was written in Treta Yuga. So people were at very low frequency of vibration. Then the people who were at Satyuga, at the higher frequency of vibrations. So Gita is made for everybody that, whatever level you are, you start worshipping. Because the people who are at a very low level, we cannot teach them that sit down and meditate. So you start Sagun, you start whatever way, wherever you are. So that's to make them comfortable that everything is okay. But we should always keep in mind that Nirguna is always the ultimate goal. We can start with Saguna, but it's like same thing. Umaji gave the example that you want to reach to some place, either you take a direct flight or you start enjoying the scenic view and you go through a different route. So same thing, like it will take you longer time because ultimate goal is Nirguna. So you can do worship, you can do, but ultimately you have to go within.
That sounds a little bit fanatic in my mind. I'm sorry to say it does. Because again, it's the same paragraph that you read this paragraph again. The moment we say this is the only thing, we are in trouble. Because just like I say, fire you cannot separate as long as you accept both the aspect. That's what a jnani does. And when you say when you reach, it's not that after you reach you never become sagun, otherwise avatar kabhi hote hi nahi fir. When we say avatar aaye hain, it's a continuous process, right? So we have to be very careful. And when you said that,
but अवतार आए हमें अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करवाने के लिए. जब बहुत अंधकार हो गया तो अवतार का रूप लेके भगवान ने अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करने के लिए अवतार बनाए, पर ये नहीं कि हम अवतार की पूजा करनी शुरू कर दें और भगवान को भूल जाएं.
लेकिन वो क्या कह रहे हैं कि अवतार की पूजा करते करते आपका मन अपने आप शुद्ध होगा और आप समझ जाओगे. सो हाँ तो आप समझ जाओगे. पर जो लोग बोलते, see, one of the things that when you said that why was Geeta written, there is a little bit confusion in your understanding about that. To Geeta is nothing but the sar of all Upanishad. Okay, so it's not like Geeta is written for he was just trying to take everything together,
and to make it more understandable even to the lower level of people who don't have that kind of understanding. It's made to so that everybody can understand it and everybody can accept it and everybody can start their journey from where they are.
But in your mind, a lower and higher is something what Krishna Bhagavan shattered in that verse when he said that no matter how big sinner you are,